She's pretty and she runs. Now, before we get into it, I want to introduce Scott, who's our newest editor. He's a Marine Corps combat veteran and has written for a number of publications, and we're happy to have him on board.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
It does okay.
All right, folks, as an overview, this is the Kimber 2K11. It is a hammer-fired pistol, double-stack 1911 or 2011 style. 20+1 magazines, also comes with a 17+1 magazine.
Yeah, so this gun comes with 3 magazines, and for those of you who are asking the important question, yes, it is compatible with Staccato, Checkmate, Atlas magazines. Checkmate's website, it says Kimber 2K11 right on it.
That's a great point, Wyatt, thanks. Consistent viewers, we want to let you know that we've got a slight format change. We will be covering the accuracy portion in today's challenge, so stick around, you're not going to want to miss that. Well, let's go to the target and read them and weep, shall we? Hey folks, we've got the Kimber 2K11 here, and we're doing our first impression. Scott, take us off, man.
Will do. Really smooth, really fast trigger. Looking forward to this one.
Ho ho! Very nice. Uh-huh. A little bit of slide back. I think my thumb was dragging the slide a little bit, so it caused it not to go into battery. That's on me. Yeah, it's very smooth slide. The trigger is sweet. It's very short, very light. Yeah, I think this is going to be a runner.
Yeah, I really dig it. It's got a really good return to zero. I don't feel like it's dipping too much, and man, that's a pretty sweet trigger on this.
Yep. I like this gun. Yeah, I didn't get locked back, and that's on me. Yeah.
So right off the bat, everything runs really smooth. It feels very light to operate. This mag well, you can see, is enormous. There's a ton of room to fit that in from weird angles if you want to go fast. Speed reloads are going to be pretty easy with this thing. It's been running great, super accurate. We're all shooting good groups with it, so we might as well back it up to about 50 and just for fun, just see how it does. Or how I do, more accurately.
Yeah.
It does okay.
A little right.
All right, guys, we're going to run some defensive ammo through this right now just to see how it cycles.
All right, it looked like that one was a failure to chamber. We had a live round pop out there, just didn't go all the way back in. We'll keep running, see if there's anything else there. I don't feel like I was dragging the slide or anything. This is some lighter ammo. We'll just keep running it and see where we're at. Oh, looks like probably another one. firm up my grip a little bit and see if that's anything that's causing it right there. May have been a little bit limp wristing it. I was just kind of trying to get a feel for the trigger and some slow fire. So I kind of had a little bit of a looser grip. Might have been there. We'll see what's going on moving forward. That was a 17 round mag, so I'm gonna run up to the 20s, see how it goes. All right, got lock back there too, so that's good. All right, so I'm gonna run a few slow fire rounds with the Federal HST 124 grain. I have a little bit of a looser grip with some of that lighter ammo, like once or twice where I was having trouble going back into battery. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of slow fire and see if with the hotter ammo that fixes that, just to kind of rule anything out. There was still some failure to return a battery, so this gun just requires a little bit more of a firm grip, which you're supposed to have on a 2011. I work behind a keyboard for a living, man. I'm just an editor. I'm not really the pro shooter that anyone else here is, but just a nice firm grip on these is what it's kind of looking like, as a lot of 2011s are, especially when you have a really light recoil spring, but that's what really helps keep a lot of the recoil down.
All right, we've all had a chance to run 3 mags through, so let's start with Wyatt. What are your first impressions on the Kimber 2K11?
Yeah, so first off, the trigger is really good. It's nice and short and crisp. Short as in the pull. It actually has a pretty decent length of reach out there. So it might be a little bit long for some people. It was still working for me with my medium hands, but it's nice. It's a no textured flat face front, which I really like. I like that better than the curved triggers on 2011s. The grip, like I mentioned earlier, isn't as aggressive as some other 2011s. That's easily remedied with some tape or anything like that, but it still feels really comfortable. I do like the overall feel of it. And I was getting pretty good accuracy, and that's just with the cheap AAC 115 grain ammo. So nothing match grade, nothing crazy. It's got a really soft recoil spring, so.
It flatters. It definitely makes us all look like probably a little better shooters than we are. It's also very sensitive, like Wyatt was saying, the trigger is light, the recoil spring is light. It takes a little bit of adjusting your mindset if you're coming out of like duty pistols, but once you get used to it, it just runs.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Yeah, I'd echo that too. And this color, man, this kind of brassy color. I'm going to throw out an old reference here. There was an old Japanese robot action film when I was a kid called Goldar. And it was these dudes that would turn into rockets and they'd fly around and fight monsters. This reminds me of Goldar. I'll bet Johnny's going to pull up some footage of that and plug it in. Thank you, Johnny.
Can't wait.
Obviously, being a 2011, the grip is going to be really similar to a lot of 2011s in terms of the shape. You got the nice trigger undercut. The magwell really helps cup your hand in there. It feels good. It's comfortable to shoot. I will say that the grip texture, it's not aggressive enough for my liking. They have these squares here, but they're flat top squares. They're not pyramids. It's not very sharp. So I was losing a little bit of traction on my support hand, especially since it's dry out here. But the grip shape feels good. And one thing I did want to note is that sometimes when I shoot 2011, I have really bony thumbs and a little bit skinnier hands, so the safety will really eat into my thumb, and on some of them they'll cut me up, but they did a really good job radiusing this, so I didn't get chewed up at all when I was shooting this gun, which is actually really nice.
That's a great point, Scott.
Yeah, if that portion of the pistol is a little bit on the tame side, I think the slide serrations are the opposite. They're not, you can look, they're not real deep, but that metal is very sharp. That's a sharp edge on that 90-degree cut. If you're using gloves, you're gonna get great bite on that. If you're using just your hands, you might get a
You're
little
gonna get
extra
bit.
bite.
Yeah, I would wrap this up too and just remind folks that 2011s by design are big, which is great for me, but it might not be great for smaller handed people. You may need to adapt your technique. What are your thoughts on this? We want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments below what you think about 2011s in general, and would you pick up a 2K11? Is this something that would be of interest to you? On to trigger. Now, this is an interesting one because it feels like there's a greater distance between the back strap and the length of, or the distance to the front of the trigger, and I like that. That works really well for me because I'm using the front tip of my finger, and I appreciate that. Wyatt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this trigger is really good. There's only a little bit of take up, only a little bit of over travel.
Yep.
The reset's pretty good. I've seen some crisper resets, but it's still really good, very audible and tactile. We put it on the gauge off camera and it was giving us 2.6, 2.7 pounds almost every single pull. So it's a really good trigger. If you're coming from that 4.5 pound staccato trigger, this is gonna feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's light and clean, so probably about as good as it's gonna get until someone makes a gun that goes off on its own.
Okay, here's our final thoughts on the Kimber 2K11, and I wanted to point out that this is the Target optics ready version in 9mm, so it's coming up in price about $2,200 to $2,500 depending on where you shop around. Overall, good gun. I like the balance, I like the ergonomics. The grip texture, as mentioned, is a little bit light. I felt like it had good accuracy, and the reliability is one question that we kind of wanted to delve into just a little bit. There were a few times when the slide wouldn't move all the way forward. It would be out of battery and I would just have to either hit it with my thumb or the back of the hand. That can be a potential issue. Trying to separate whether that was my thumb from the high grip or not, these guys have an opinion about that, but that would be something that you'd want to be aware of. We did make sure that the gun was wet. It was well lubricated the entire time. But overall, pricey gun, but really good performance. Like if you want to run fast and if you want to shoot accurately, it does a really good job. Scott, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I really tried to remember that this is a performance gun when we shot it. So some of the things like the recoil spring's pretty light, the trigger's a little bit touchy if you're coming from a duty style pistol.
Yeah.
But those are all, you might think of them as compromises made in the pursuit of performance.
Sure.
So if you're using it for that competitive intended purpose, it's going to be aces.
Yeah, that's a good point, a good perspective.
Yeah, so accuracy wise, this gun was great. Y'all saw one of those groups I had. It was stacking them right in there. Part of that's due to the trigger being really good,
Yep.
which I love that. Like I said, especially if you're coming from a heavier 2011 trigger. A couple things I really like. The gun comes with 3 mags, which is awesome. It also comes with an awesome fully adjustable rear sight, not just like a backup rear sight. It's a nice target rear sight, so if you don't want to run optics, it's got that. Each of us did have some failures for this to fully return to battery. They both thought it was maybe because they were dragging their thumb on the slide a little bit. My thumb placement's a bit lower. I was thinking maybe I limp wristed it a little bit. I think the gun is just kind of sprung a little bit too light, so you got to really be conscious with your thumb placement and making sure that it's driving, you're driving the gun all the way, because I think it could do with a little bit heavier recoil spring, and that would work wonders in this gun.
Yeah, it does feel a little grip sensitive. I like the overall ergonomics, but yeah, I think you bring up a good point. It might be a little light sprung because we definitely made sure that it was lubricated, and so that wasn't the issue. And the slide feels really smooth. I mean, the machining is very close tolerances. So overall, great gun, but it's at a high price, and you're going to have to decide whether it's good value for you. All right, folks, that's going to do it for our final thoughts. This has been a lot of fun, but now it's time for the challenge. The moment you've been waiting for, the challenge is coming up. And these guys don't even know what it is yet. For all of our Pew Pew tacticians out there, we're implementing a challenge in each of our reviews now, and today's challenge is extra special because I've got backup, or challengers, perhaps you might consider it. We're shooting the Kimber 2K11 from 10 yards. We're going to fire 10-shot groups for accuracy. We're not timing it. We're just going to see who can come up with the smallest group, right? Size matters, and in this case, it's going to be the smallest. Wyatt, what are your thoughts? You've got to feel pretty confident.
I don't know about confident, but I'm ready. I think
Okay.
he's putting me on the spot right now. No.
We'll find out just how accurate this thing is and how decent we are at shooting.
Scott's been sandbagging these
No.
whole time. You probably have too.
The neuroses are emerging now as the pressure builds. Oh, okay. See how we do.
Cole, how do you feel, man?
You know what? I dropped one. Flinched, and just pulled it, but pretty decent group otherwise.
I'm gonna make you sit in suspense.
Oh!
All right, guys. Shooting a competition is just like driving a race car. And by that I mean, have your excuses load up ahead of time.
I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Wow!
All you.
Yeah, there's no way I'm catching up with that one. I'll give it a shot, but like you said, excuses. Ah, the gun's getting hot, you know. Accuracy degradation. It's too hot. We need to let it cool down. I can feel your smiles from behind me. That's absolutely terrible. I'm never doing this again.
Well, let's
You
go
asked
to the
for it.
target and read them and weep, shall we? Oh man. Challenge is complete. Now the only thing left to do is figure out who had the smallest group. We'll start off with me. I brought the caliper today.
The truth stick.
That's it, baby. Now, is that fair, 2.49?
Sure is.
Okay. I'm not that pleased with that. It would have been much smaller had I not thrown that one, but hey, it happens. Scott, I'd say 1.39. All right. Wyatt, we happy with that?
I'm never returning to the channel again.
1.93. So, here are your winners in order. Scott, number 1. Thank you very much. Well done. Excellent shooting. Wyatt, number 2. And your humble narrator came in third this time. I'm glad that these two gentlemen were here to help demonstrate the accuracy of the Kimber 2K11. Folks, that's going to do it for us. I appreciate Scott and Wyatt joining me for this adventure. It's been a lot of fun. We want to thank you, the Pew Pew Tacticians, for watching. We appreciate all your support. Be sure to hit us up in the comments below. Let us know what you think about the 2K11, what you think about its performance, and in particular, these two guys. These guys did a great job. And we want to recommend that you check out our review, video review of the Staccato P. It's probably one of the closest models that we've reviewed that's similar to this one. You can find it down in the description below, or it might just pop up here at the end of the video. We'll see you on the next one.